Again, if I'm missing something about this, if I'm missing something about any of these cards, let me know, and I'll certainly change my opinions. But I'm pretty sure that's exactly how this card works. So, all right, what do we got here? We've got. Let's start at the top of this here. All right, so we've got a card named Toriel the Runekeeper. Okay, so I know Toriel is a character from another game. I can't remember the name for some reason. Undertale. I have not really played Undertale, so I can't judge this card based on the flavor of Undertale. So I can only judge it as a Magic card. So let's keep that in mind. And that's kind of one of the dangers you have with these cards that are trying to emulate some other character from something else other than Magic. Is that some people are not going to get the reference, and if a lot of your design is based on just the reference, which I see very often, the card's going to kind of look like nonsense. But who knows? Let's see what would happen. So this is a 6-mana Boros card, 6-mana 5/5. It's a legendary creature, monster noble wizard. When Toriel becomes tapped, she deals 3 damage to target creature or player. Okay, that's pretty strong. 3 mana. The next time a source would deal damage to target creature this turn, it deals that much damage rounded up to Toriel and target creature you don't control instead. Deals that much damage rounded up to Toriel and target creature you don't control. So I'm not sure why the rounded up text is here. That's a little confusing. Because, okay, so if you were to get rid of this rounded up text, it would just say the next time a source you control would deal damage to target creature this turn, it deals that much damage to Toriel and target creature you don't control instead. So basically, let's say somebody lightning bolts one of your creatures, right? You pay this. Instead, they lightning bolt Toriel, and you get to choose another card that they get to lightning bolt that you don't control. So you're kind of like redirecting that, and it's that's somewhat interesting. I mean, the fact that Toriel takes the damage is kind of nice, but the fact that this has rounded up kind of confuses me, because that maybe means that he meant to split the damage. So I'm not sure. This text confuses me. So I'm not sure what's going on here exactly. I mean, this ability's fine. Like, well, hold on. The next time a source would deal damage to target creature this turn. So you can actually use this on her own ability. So when she becomes tapped, she deals 3 damage to target creature or player. Okay, so I guess you wouldn't use this on your own ability, because you would just deal damage to her and then redirect it. So this ability is basically just says, like, like nobody's actually going to play into this effect, right? So it's really more of an onboard thing where it's like, okay, well, as long as you have this mana up, you can't play cards that deal less than 5 damage. So basically, it makes this card kind of a target that they have to kill. Yeah, I mean, this card is fine. This is a fine card. Like, I don't hate it. It's strong. I mean, okay, so it's a 6-mana 5/5. Whenever it attacks, it deals 3 damage to a creature or player. So it's a little bit like not quite as strong, but a little bit like an Inferno Titan in that way. And then it has this ability. It's a fine card. Other than this rounded up text, which confuses me. Yeah, I don't have too many issues with this, but it doesn't really excite me too much, to be quite honest. Like, again, this ability will basically never get activated. It's really just there to sort of control the game state. So I think I would give this an average grade. I would give it a 3 out of 5. I think it's a fine Magic card, but it's not exciting. Maybe I'd be more excited if I knew, the reference, and that's always the danger with these reference cards. So, all right, moving on. And I think this is another Undertale card, I'm guessing. Okay, so this is a 4-mana 3/3. It's a common. As long as you control a monster soldier called Dogaressa, Dogami have +3/+3 in vigilance. Okay, so here's Dogaressa. When she attacks or blocks, if a monster soldier called Dogami died this turn, Dogaressa gains first strike until end of turn. Okay, so this is kind of a pair card. So, okay, you have some issues with grammar here, and I I know that not everybody's first language is English, so I'm not going to be too harsh on you, but I have to take points off for that, just because. Look, I mean, we're grading Magic cards, right? If you read a Magic card that had grammar errors, I mean, it would that would be a weird Magic card, right? So I have to take that into account, even if English is not your first language. But I won't penalize you too harshly for that. So as long as you control, okay. Another thing about these cards is you don't have to say a monster soldier called Dogaressa. You can literally just say as long as you control a creature named Dogaressa. So I'm not sure why the type is in there. So you can probably simplify this text a lot. As long as you control a creature named Dogaressa, Dogami gets +3/+3 in vigilance. So it's a 6/6 vigilance. Okay, so it's a 6-mana 6/6 vigilance if you have this card here. And this card is a 4-mana 4/4 vigilance. When it attacks or blocks, if a creature named Dogami died this turn, she gains first strike until end of turn. Okay. This card seems a lot weaker than this card. Interesting. I mean, one thing to note is that these cards are not legendary, right? So you could potentially have a lot of these in play. I mean, I guess I don't hate. Okay, so I think this card is perfectly fine. I like this card. You know, having this is a fairly large hoop you have to jump through, right? Having just another creature of a specific name. I mean, that's a pretty big hoop. So I don't mind having a 3/3 a 6/6 vigilance for 4. I think that's perfectly fine. This one is a little bit stranger to me because I mean a 4/4 vigilance for 4 is again it's fine, and you do have this other hoop you have to go through. The payoff here is much smaller. She gains first strike, and Dogany has to die, which can't really like if this happens in combat, like if you attack with both of these at the same time, and this happens in combat, this effect basically does nothing because you're already past the first strike stage at that point, right? So basically, you have to have him die on your basically on your turn before combat for this to actually do anything, which is a pretty big hoop. And the like your opponent's not going to give you that choice, right? So it has to be you doing it. So you have to play some sort of like a sacrifice effect. So you basically have to sacrifice your 6/6 vigilance in order to give this thing first strike. And that's just like I just don't see why you would ever do that. So I think this card I like. I would give this card a 4 out of 5. I think it's a perfectly fine common card. This one I have to give this one a lower grade for the reasons I stated. I mean a 4-mana 4/4 vigilance, like okay, that's like a just a fine 3 out of 5 card. This ability is just so odd that I think I have to bring this one down to a 2 out of 5. So yeah, that's my analysis of these cards, and those are by Fire of Golden. All right, so here we got one by Hergus Burgess. This one's called Determination. Until end of turn, target creature gains indestructible, and its power and toughness can't be less than its base power and toughness. Oh, I see. This is another one of these UN astronaut. Okay, so this is sort of another real life card. And its power and toughness can't be less than its base power and toughness. So if you have like -1/-1 counters on it, you know, it sort of negates that. It negates -X/-X effects. What's interesting is that I don't think this would negate something like a turn to frog. Bring up Scryfall here. So a turn to frog. Well, yeah. So this sets the base power and toughness of a creature to 1/1. I don't think that negates that turn to frog type effects rather, because its base power and toughness can't be less than it changes its base power and toughness. So this wouldn't affect that. So this essentially protects from -1/-1 counters, -X/-X effects. Yeah, I mean this is a fine card. This wording is certainly unique. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen this on a Magic card before. Correct me if I'm wrong. And so yeah, I mean, I don't mind this card. This is just a perfectly fine sort of little trick. I like that they made it uncommon. Not necessarily for power level reasons, but just for complexity reasons. That's like a perfectly fine reason to make something uncommon. So yeah, I mean, I think this is a totally fine card. It's not exciting, so I would give this a 4 out of 5. I think it definitely looks like a Magic card. It's formatted very well. Wow, they even got this nice little line down here. I don't know how they. This was probably not. I'm guessing this wasn't created by MTG Card Smith. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think this was created by that because I don't think you can actually get that line in there. But yeah, the formatting is great. You know, grammar's perfect. Yeah, I gave it a 4 out of 5. The only reason I don't give it a 5 out of 5 is it's not particularly exciting, but there's nothing wrong with that. You know, there's nothing wrong with not being exciting. You know, the world needs commons and uncommons, and I'm more of a fan of those than others are. So, good job on Determination, Hergisbergus.